Hey everybody, long time no talk. So I wanted to do a weekly update on my pregnancy along the way, but I was just, the first trimester kicked my butt, you guys. I was so nauseous and so sleepy. I was like, you know what, I'll just wait till the first trimester is over, and then I'll just do like a big group update video. So that's kind of what this is today. So forgive me if I'm out of breath. I've been running around. I was like, okay, everybody's asleep, time to do a video. I was doing some cleaning. But so it all kind of started in April. I started a very strict diet and regimen plan, exercising, reduced my carbs to 10 to 13 carbs a day, which I know is very low, but that's the thing that really got me was carbs. And then I was trying Dr. Miller's Holy Tea, which is a detoxification tea, and it worked wonders. Like, I had never felt so good. My face had cleared up, my body felt good, I wasn't tired all the time. So that tea really did help. Then in May, with Melanie graduating, and there's just so many activities going on, I was shocked that I had actually had a cycle, because I don't cycle normally. And when I do have cycles, they don't end. Like, once I start, I have to take medication to get them to stop. Sometimes I can go 10 to 16 weeks before my doctor will finally call in some Megestrol for me to take to end the period. So when I had a cycle in May, and it ended on its own in like 6 days, and I was like, holy cow, that's great, you know? And then in June, I had another cycle, and it ended at 6 days, and it was very light and normal, and I was like, yes, this is amazing. I'm not having to take medication. This, this diet and exercise program was really working for me. And then July was such a busy month. Oh my gosh. With the 4th of July and the kids being out of school and swimming, and then Nathan's birthday, and that whole week of his birthday, he had company, and they were like swimming, then doing kites, then coming in color, and then playing video games, then watching a movie, and then going back out to swim. And it was like every 20 minutes they were changing what they wanted to do, so I had to keep up with all of them to make sure that, everything was okay. It was just a really busy week. I felt exhausted, like I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was like, what is wrong with me? Maybe it was just, all the excitement of everything going on. Didn't know what was going on. I had a dream that week that, in my dream, this is going to sound so cliche, that me and 2 other people took a pregnancy test and it came out positive. And when I woke up that morning, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then it ate at me and ate at me and ate at me. But halfway through the day, I was like, okay, I really need to take a test, because if I had a dream like that, then that must mean something. So I went in there and dug through both bathrooms and finally found an old pregnancy test. And I didn't know if it was expired or not, because I believe I bought them off of eBay from somewhere overseas. And sometimes they do the month and then the day and then the year, and then some do it backwards. They do the day and then the month and then the year. Well, it said 7/11/2015. So I was like, okay, either these expired on July 11th or they don't expire till November 7th. So I was like, either way, I'm going to take the test. I'm not going to sit here and think about it too much. Took the test, and 2 lines came up, and I was just standing there for a minute, and I was just in shock, and I was like, no way. I was like, no, this can't be. No, this is not happening. So I found another test, and I took it later on that day, and it came out even darker later in the day, which, they say you take them first thing in the morning, and I was like, okay, that's 2 with 2 lines on each. That's probably saying something. I was like, oh, it's got to be a blighted ovum or something, because the week before I took that pregnancy test, I sold all of my baby stuff except for this cradle and 1 rocker, this rock and play here. So I have the rock and play, and I have the bouncer. I got rid of my cradle, my car seats, my strollers. I got rid of bathtubs, clothes, pacifiers, bottles, all my breastfeeding supplies. I was finding local people who needed these things, and I was either selling them at a really cheap price or just basically giving this stuff away, because I just wanted to clear it out. I had so much stuff, and I had no need for it anymore, because I was down to like 2 reborns at the time. And I was like, I don't need all this stuff. That's just ridiculous. It was just sitting there collecting dust, and having to dust it every day. I was just getting on my nerves. So I got rid of all of it, and then I found out I was pregnant, and I was like, oh, I need all that back. So actually, Nathan was the first one to find out, because he does like to jump up in my lap. We read 3 or 4 books a day. It's normally the same book 3 or 4 times, but we read that same book 3 or 4 times a day. And he jumps up in my lap. So I told him, I was like, you can't be jumping on mommy, because there might be a baby in my belly. And he goes, there's a baby in your belly? I said, there could be a baby in my belly, so I need you to be easy when you jump up in mommy's lap. So I said, you can't tell anybody, okay? It was just me and him throughout the day. Then the kids came in from school, and he didn't say anything to them. And then my husband came home from work, and he was washing his hands, and I didn't even get a chance to meet up with him in the hallway. Nathan ran straight up to him and looked at him and says, Mommy's got a baby in her belly. I looked down, I was like, Nathan. And I was like, you gotta let me talk to Daddy. And then he's like, what did he say? And Nathan looks up and his mommy's got a baby in her belly. And we just kind of both looked at each other and we were grinning from ear to ear. And he goes, are you sure? Is this a joke? And I was like, no, I think there might be a baby. So he's like, did you take a test? And I was like, yeah, but I don't know if they're expired or not. It could be a blighted ovum. There's so many things, that could cause you to have a positive pregnancy test. It could be a tubal. So I told him, I said, I need another test. I need a fresh one. So I went out to Walmart that night and the lady was actually stocking them on the shelf. So I got the first response and I got a couple of the 86-cent cheapy ones. Went home, took them that night, and they were all coming out positive. I took the cheapy ones the next morning that were like 88 cents or something like that, the Walmart ones, and they were coming out positive. He's like, okay. He goes, well, the house is definitely big enough, but we're going to need a bigger car. Because our car only seats 5. The truck seats 6, but I really would like to have something that doesn't eat so much gas to go out on the weekends. But he's like, so I guess we're going to get a new car. That was like our first thing that we noticed. It wasn't the fact that we had no baby supplies. It was the fact of a vehicle. So that's something we got to look into. But I normally when I'm pregnant, when I find out, the first thing I do is call my doctor and make an appointment. But my doctor is 75 minutes away. And in the morning, that takes me 2 hours to get there with morning traffic. So I actually waited this time. I waited a few weeks before I found a doctor and called. And I was like, I think I might be pregnant. I need to make an appointment. Because I was in denial. I was in serious denial. I did not think that, because, we haven't used any type of birth control or anything like that. And it's been 4 years since Nathan was born and we haven't come up pregnant. So I was kind of shocked and I was taking it, in definitely great denial. And they made an appointment for me. I went in. I absolutely love this doctor. They were rated #1 for, I think, 2014 and 2013. They had an award or something. So sweet. The nurses are unbelievably sweet. The doctor is wonderful. I was expecting an ultrasound the first day, but she's like, no. We're going to take your beta first, which is your blood, and see how your numbers are. If they're way up there, you're either further along than you think or you're carrying multiples. And she goes, and then, if they're way up there, we're going to go ahead and schedule an appointment for 7 days from today. So to do an ultrasound. And she goes, is there anything you want me to test that we don't normally? And I asked her to look at my thyroid because I did have thyroid problems. I was right on the verge of needing medication last October. So I said, if you could look into that for me. She goes, not a problem. I can absolutely do that for you. And it was, my last doctor, it was like pulling teeth for them to get to do something for me. But this one, it was like, here you go. Let's do this. And I was so happy. So we did get the results back in 3 days and everything seemed fine. My beta numbers were through the roof. So the ultrasound was in, 4 days from that day. And when I went in for that appointment for my ultrasound, she goes, your thyroid is a little off. We consider that hypothyroidism. We're going to put you on some Synthroid. And just make sure you take it every day and you'll be fine. So, and she did ask a lot of questions like about my hair, dry feet, constipation, things like that. And I was having all those symptoms even before I was pregnant. So I've probably had a thyroid problem for a while and not had anything done about it. So now we're getting it taken care of. And I really like that. And I hope that, I won't have to be on the medication forever. I don't know much about it, but I did find out that my family on my mom's side has a lot of hypothyroidism. And I don't know if it's hereditary or not, but we went in later that week and had an ultrasound and there was she put that on my belly and I saw that baby and I was just in shock. I was excited, but I was just in shock. I didn't cry until after we left the doctor's office. I thought I was going to cry during the ultrasound, but I think it kind of took a minute to hit me. And I got outside. I was in the hallway leaving and I just leaned up against the wall and I bawled my eyes out. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have another baby. And it was wonderful. It was a really good feeling. And I was so happy. And I was like, I'm going to be very careful. I don't want anything to happen. So I was so overprotective of myself for the past few weeks. And I ordered a Doppler. When I was 12 weeks, my Doppler came in. And I did get to hear the baby's heartbeat at home. But it was very difficult. And I couldn't figure out why. And then we went for an appointment. And for my next doctor's appointment. After the first time we saw the heartbeat, we did tell Anthony's side of the family. We let them know. So we got that out of the way, and then we went to my it was almost 13-week appointment, and it was like 12 and a half weeks. And she was having trouble finding the baby with the Doppler then too. She goes, don't need to worry. She goes, you know what? We're just going to pop you on the ultrasound real quick, and we'll see baby that way. So she went in there. Both times I've had on the belly scans. I didn't have the vaginal. It was just right the transvaginal. I didn't have those kind. It was right on the belly, and she put it on there, and there was a good reason we couldn't find that heartbeat. That baby was just dancing away at that appointment. It was just dancing and moving around, and she even had a hard time getting it to sit still long enough to take the heart rate. She wanted the heart rate for that day. And after 3 tries, we finally got it. It was 153 beats per minute. And she goes, "You have a very, very active baby," which is a good sign. It is a very good sign. So we are super excited. We're stoked. The kids are super excited. We're finally in the second trimester. I think I was very sleepy. Every day I took a 15-minute nap, no doubt about it. But weeks 8, 9, and half of 10 is when I had the nausea hit me pretty bad. But it wasn't anything I couldn't handle. I just took, the B6, I think it was. I took an extra B6 vitamin a day. She told me I could take that and some type of sleep time pill. But the sleepiness pill that I couldn't take it. I was so asleep I couldn't wake up for the kids to get on the bus. So I was like, okay, I'll just take the B6. And it did fine. I really thought that this must have been the easiest nausea experience I've had so far out of all 4 of my kids. So, but we don't expect to go all the way to 40 weeks. I mean, pretty much every one of my pregnancies have come at least 36 or 37 in a couple days. My water just breaks. So, we're expecting a beginning to mid-March baby, which scares me because out here it snows terribly and they do not clear the roads. And I think that's one of my biggest fears is not making it to the hospital in time to get that epidural, because I have to have that epidural. And that is probably that and SPD. I did have problems during my last pregnancy with my pubic bone constantly knocking. I was like, every time I tried to roll or move, it was just so painful. So it doesn't happen with every pregnancy. She said I could go right through this pregnancy without having that as a problem, so we'll keep an eye on that. I've actually lost 12 pounds since I found out I was pregnant, and that's probably due to the nausea. And I don't plan on gaining anything if I can help it, because I have learned. My first pregnancy, I gained a ton, and it was a very hard delivery. And then the second 2, I actually exercised and lost weight during my pregnancies. It wasn't a significant amount, but I didn't go over what I started with. And I felt great. The deliveries were a piece of cake for both boys. It was actually fun to go to the hospital and deliver those boys. So we want that again. That's what she's hoping for. I have decided, I don't know whether or not we're going to do the maternity 21 test yet. It's a blood test. To me, it's new. I didn't get that as an option with my other kids. We just did the nuchal translucency and the blood screening to find out if there's anything wrong. But, she is, looking into getting a hold of my insurance company, see if they'll cover it, because if not, it'll be like $3,000 for this blood test. But it does let you know if there's anything abnormally wrong with the baby. It also lets you know the gender, but way before your 20-week scan. I'm not really concerned about that, because I told her, I said, I don't care if there's anything wrong with the baby. I'm not terminating this pregnancy. It is going to go through. I am pro-life, so regardless of anything. But it would be nice to know so we could be prepared if there was something wrong. But so far, everything looks great. Baby's growing fine. I'm feeling wonderful finally. And it's been really nice the last 2 weeks. The weather's been like fall weather, so it's been really great. And I'm so glad I'm going to be able to enjoy all the pumpkin spice this fall. But we haven't really bought a whole lot. Daddy bought 1 pair of pajamas with giraffes on them. I'll insert a picture here. And that's pretty much the only outfit that we've bought so far. Of course, all the boys in the house are wanting a boy. Sissy's wanting a girl. I am neutral. I don't care. Boys are easier, but if we had a girl, it would kind of make things easy for Sissy, because she was like, oh, I want a sister. But boys are easy for me. I don't know. Girls could be easy too. I think Melanie was just difficult because she was my first baby and it was all new to me. So, you never know. With each baby, everything's gotten a little bit easier. And I just realized this time I'm just taking my time getting supplies. I'm not in any hurry. So, but other than that, I think that is everything. If I've forgotten anything, I apologize. And we will see you guys later. Bye.